Let's get in the trenches with Chinese internet stocks. Scott, we've been talking about them all week, so it's good that we're rounding out the week with these guys. We have to start with SINA. So broke below the 100-day, right, fell through the $100 mark. How pivotal was it? And I asked that because we are trading up over 1% already today, so I wonder if it's set for a bounce.
A lot of traders looked for a bounce yesterday, and it showed no strength, no power, selling pressure, and had another down day. This group has been dangerous. It's really only for the expert trader right now because they just move and the percentages are huge. SINA has led the way. If you look at this chart, you did have some clues. This was that upper pennant that broke to the downside. It cascaded, retest of that broken area, and now look where we are. We broke through 100, which was a psychological mark. You know, we could trade versus yesterday's low of 94.76, but that's the line in this end. If it breaks that area, you're going to see a move down to this 200-day. But, you know, it has gotten crushed, so fast traders will look at the price action to see if there is some type of tradable bounce today, but watch yesterday's low as that pivot area.
So you mentioned fast traders, but when you look at a BIDU, that's more for the longer-term investor. You know, broke Tuesday's lows, holding right around that support. Where can a long-term investor get invested?
Well, what's interesting with BIDU is this is supposed to be the class of the group. This is supposed to be the known, the defined company that people can trust, and this is getting beat up just as much. Not as crazy as some of them, but it's been pretty drastic. So if you look at the chart of BIDU, it was upgraded by Piper Jaffray today. You know, this was that breakout failure on earnings. Here was that ascending channel into resistance that broke to the downside. We are at some big support, so I'm going to watch this to see if I can play a bounce around 120. But again, like most things, doesn't have that much room to the 200-day, which could become that that magnet.
All right, let's go to YOKU. IPO lockout ended on Wednesday. Stock just got hammered. Is it overdone?
Well, the thing with these younger, newer companies, they've all got really crushed. A lot of them are trading at new lows because they're not proven. They don't have the institutional support. YOKU actually acted a lot better than Dang over the course of the past 6 months, but it too has come under pressure because when the whole group gets thrown out and the psychology changes, you have to be that careful. At this point, I hope you're not short. If you are, we talked about being a chasa, and that is you. You know, maybe you try and buy it versus that 30 area. If it does have a bounce, it can go back to 40, but it's going to be very quick and, again, for the fast money trader.
All right, let's go to SOHU because it broke through its 200-day.
Right.
So if we're looking at the 200-day as a good support level for this, what do we do with SOHU?
Well, SOHU, that just shows you it's the weakest, bigger one. You know, we talk about stocks that trade down and that are bad, acting poorly, and then when they get hit further. Same thing we talked about with the XLF and some of the indices. If you look at SOHU, this hit our stops at 95. We were trading this for a long. This is when that upper area broke, right here. This was your stop. And now look where it is below the 200-day. So this is weaker than SINA, weaker than BIDU, weaker than some of them. So I would say if you're looking for a bounce, don't go after the weakest one. Go with the ones you could trust a bit more. And right now, I would say that could be the BIDU and then SINA.
Does RenRen count?
Anywhere,
is it worse than SOHU?
Well, if you wanted to be short, a lot of guys on my floor were playing it to break $12 yesterday. And look what this did. This is just gross. Broke the $12 area. That was your way out. You know, and guys made money short this because this was a tradable pattern, a broke support, and now.
Cover the short now?
I've said a cover a few times and I've been wrong, but I always take my profits early. But at this point, from 18 to 1050, you want to try and get the juice of a move. I don't like that. I like the meat and potatoes.
So real quick, is the big takeaway from the Chinese internets that, again, you have to continue to watch the 200-day for most of these stocks and indices?
Yes, and you also, the big takeaway here is you have to know your stocks. You have to watch them close. You have to follow the technicals, the psychological areas with them or within them because they were winners. They were great traders 3 months ago, and now they're like thrown in the doghouse, and you have to realize when that composure